To you, cherished viewers, you are welcome to the Koko Digest Morning Show. I am your host for today, Yaira Awuno. Would like to apologize for the delay in transmission as the rains have been heavy since yesterday evening, and I hope that everybody is trying to keep safe and keep well. Yes, so here on the Koko Digest Morning Show, we are expecting to have conversations, especially on the lifestyle, with regards to endometriosis, and this is one part of female health that is not very fully funded and researched. Some people might even go as far as to say it's quite under-researched. So yes, we're going to be interacting with someone who has dealt with endometriosis and has now become an advocate, or even to say an activist. Then on the business and sports segments, we're going to also be having the highlights and news as always. So do stay tuned for that. But for now, let's prepare to be motivated. Right, so as the day is quite cloudy, the rains have been a bit hectic, we still would like to motivate ourselves and our viewers. And today's motivational quote is by William James, and he says, "Act as if what you do makes a difference. It does. Act as if what you do makes a difference. It does." And this is by William James. And William James is just emphasizing the importance of recognizing the value of our actions. No matter how small they may seem, every decision, every effort, every kind word, every act of persistence can influence someone's life or shape our own future in meaningful ways. Now, people often underestimate themselves because they cannot immediately see the results of their actions. And this quote is just here to teach us that your presence, your work, your attitude matter more than you realize. Now, whether you are studying, whether you're working, helping others, or improving yourself, your actions create impact over time. It is a reminder to live intentionally and contribute positively because every effort counts. So yes, this goes to those of us who may have cars, who may have an umbrella. Let's share with a friend, let's share with a stranger, especially in trying times as these, as the rains are quite unpredictable these days. And that being said, Peter Insia would be bringing us the weather report right after this. See you soon. Yeah, there. Yeah, welcome back to the Koko Digest Morning Show. And if you're just tuning in, it's time for the weather report by Peter Nsiang. Hello, Peter. Good morning. I hope you're well.
Up and grateful, divine selection. Another day to right my wrongs.
I hope the rains were not too cruel to you.
Not exactly, but then I had my share yesterday. It was very sad when we still talk about that because we still have to ask about where are the cars because it's these days it's very, very, very bad. So imagine those that the rain. I don't want to go there.
Right. So Beverly, how are you this morning?
I'm blessed and highly favored. It's a brand new day, brand new week, and brand new month as well. So we have a lot of time to, like Peter said, right our wrongs.
Glad to hear. You guys don't seem fazed by the weather car. India.
I can take you to UK. Yeah.
It's not even about the cold. It's about just how bad things can get.
Did it affect your area?
Not too much, but some parts of that same community. But where I am, no, not too much. But I mean, when the rains fall and all the cars are no longer available, moving around becomes hectic. And sometimes you don't think you might fall down. They say too, you don't fall down too much. Anyway.
For me, I don't have the words to describe what I went through yesterday. That's why I'm quiet.
Can you imagine?
Well, it's not bad for us to experience rainfall, but the fact that whenever it rains, the stories that come afterwards is
that's
what's cause for concern. But apart from the flooding, but I like everything about rainfall because it's bringing some kind of refreshing, feel that comes with it.
The rains also water the plants,
right.
Growth and
it makes the serenity, very nice.
Right, but then Peter has a weather report, so maybe he would be giving us hope that tomorrow the sun will be up, as the kind of rain we experienced yesterday and this dawn. We are hoping for sunlight at least tomorrow or even today. So Peter, what should we expect from GMET?
Right, so from the Ghana Meteorological Agency, it should be projected on your screen by now. Today, the story isn't different from what happened yesterday. Today, according to GMET, this morning, Aflao is going to be mostly cloudy. The people of Accra, Kaswa, Cape Coast, Takrade, and Axim, GMET says we should expect rain this morning, accompanied by storm. For the people of Koforidia, Akimodan, it is going to be misty. GMET says there's 40% chance of you experiencing a misty weather. For the people of Kumasi, Obuasi, Takwa, Kintampo, Gosu, Sunyani, Techiman, Tamale, Bole, Damango, and Wa, GMET says there's a 30 to 40% chance of rain this morning, and so you should take note and act accordingly. For the people of Ketekrachi, Yendi, Bolgatanga, Nelerugu, it is going to be mostly cloudy this morning, and the temperature ranges from 22 to 24 degrees Celsius. As the day progresses into the afternoon, the people of Accra and Aflao, GMET says it is going to be sunny. It is going to be sunny, and so the weather will be a bit cloudy, and you'll see a little bit of sun this afternoon. And the same thing applies to Cape Coast, Takrade, Axim, Ho, Koforidia, and its environs. But for the people of Koforidia, Akimodan, it is going to rain this afternoon, and GMET says there's 30% chance of rain accompanied by wind, and so the people within that area should take note as well. The people of Kumasi, Obuasi, Takwa, and Sefibekwa, this afternoon, GMET says you should expect sunny intervals. It is going to be sunny, a bit cloudy, and yes. And so for the people of Goso and Sunyani, should also expect sunny intervals as well. The people in the north, the northern region, Boligatanga, Damango, Wa, and its environs, it is going to be sunny as well. And then as the day progresses into the evening, most parts of the country is going to be partly cloudy. except the people of Ketikrachi and Yendi. GMET says there's 40% chance of rain this evening. So please take note and act accordingly. And then this evening, the temperature ranges from 28 degrees Celsius to 33 degrees Celsius. And the state of the sea today is rough. And then, so the people of Accra today, this morning, there's 30 to 40% chance of rain this morning again. And then in the afternoon, it is going to be sunny. We are going to experience sunny intervals. That is, it's going to shine a little bit and a little bit of cloudiness. And then in the evening, it is going to be partly cloudy. Yara, that is it for today's weather report from GMET.
All right. Thank you so much. So this may be an avenue to even advocate for some of those of us who may have cars to, offer lifts here and there. Let's help one another. And also, let's get strapped with an umbrella or raincoat because it seems the rains are here to stay. I mean, June, July is usually what they call the rainy season and all of that. So let's adhere and also try to be safe. And those of you in neighborhoods that tend to flood, you may also want to invest in Wellington boots so that you don't end up getting stuck in the mud and probably drowning as well. So let's look out for some safety precautions we can take as well. Now, let's take our word for today, and then we quickly move into the issues we're going to be discussing, like the June 3rd disaster. It's been 11 years. What have we learned? What's the way forward? And then some other issues that are also trending. So yes, let's take our word for today. Now, the word for today is austere. Now, austere means something that is plain, simple, and strict or lacking comfort and luxury. So it is an adjective, and some of the words that are very similar in meaning to the word austere, we have plain, we have strict, we have severe, and we have simple. Now, the meanings here tend to be quite different. This is because of the context it's going to be used in. So you can see strict and simple, they don't mean the same thing. It's all just contextual here. So let's take note of that. So when something is austere, it means that it is very simple. And then when, you go somewhere and the atmosphere there is also austere, it could be a strict atmosphere, it could be an atmosphere that's also lacking in comfort and luxury. Then the words that are opposite in meaning to the word austere, we have luxurious, we have decorative, and we have comfortable. So now, these are some of the ways to also use austere. So we have, austere sounds serious. So imagine a strict teacher or a room with no decoration. So yes, two different contexts here. Then, the word is also commonly used for lifestyle, for buildings, for rules, fashion, or personalities that are simple or strict. So the word for today is austere. Let's incorporate it into our vocabulary and also enrich our English speaking. So yes, this is the word for today. My co-host, yes, Junior Sarkodie. These days, you'll not be giving us the rap too.
Yeah, like I said, Sarkodie is on mine.
So
yeah,
no,
I just want
he's planning something. So. Yeah. There's a new project.
Ish. Okay.
We can't wait.
Right. So, any contributions to the word austere? Have you come across it?
Honestly, this is my first time hearing the word austere, and I think I've learned something new today. Austere.
Right. Thank you so much. So let's go into what's trending. Have you picked up anything? What's happening? Yes, I know. Obviously, yesterday's rain will, by all means, be cause for conversations around transport, sanitation, floods, drainage, all of that.
Yeah.
What news have you picked up? Any issues here and there?
Yes, so Yara, and I'm glad we'll be speaking to the Ghana National Fire Service, and then they'll speak to us. So yesterday we heard that there was a fire outbreak around Koko board and the police station thereabouts, but it was reported that no casualties were. everything was safe. The Ghana National Fire Service got there on time to ensure that they put off the fire. And I'm glad we'll be speaking to Mr. Desmond Aka, and he will give us the details of what actually transpired. But apart from that, you see, we've been talking about transport issues. Yesterday, I have some videos, but I couldn't give it to the editing team. I took my time to actually look at what exactly is transpiring. And so those of us who pick up from Koko border down there, the cluster of schools, Kinteki, I usually mispronounce the name. There's a cluster of schools down there after Koko board when you descend. You know, people usually pick car from there. Yesterday, I got there around 5:20. And the number of people there, I mean, there were hundreds of people there. As at 5:20, I stood there close to 1 hour, 30 minutes. It looks like though people were not getting car, and the pressure there keep, getting worse. And the way people were, boarding the car was so bad that one can get injured, and the results wouldn't be something, good. And what actually was disturbing is that the people were not even standing somewhere safe. They were almost like on the road whilst the cars were speeding. It's so dangerous. And then as at 6:30, the number was the same. So it's very sad, and that the cars that we were promised, the buses. Recently we saw in the news that the vice president had gone to, give the cars to Metro Mass and what have you. But we are not seeing where these cars have been deployed. And it's raising concerns. And still, people are charging exorbitant prices. As of yesterday, mates and drivers were charging 28 cedis to Kaswa, others 20 cedis to Nsawom, 10 cedis, 15 cedis to even Kwashiman. We sit here, we talk about these issues, we call authorities, and it's like a blame game. This is doing that, this is not doing this, and we are still suffering. And the issue is that even if they are charging exorbitant prices and there are cars available, we will complain, but it wouldn't be that much. They are charging exorbitant prices. The cars are not even available. And yesterday it rained as well, so you can imagine people need to get to work as early as 6 or 7. So it's a very sad situation that our authorities need to do something urgently, because we talk about it and nothing happens. Last week we were talking about it. Tuesday we spoke about it as well. And we're talking about finding other alternatives, the rails and what have you. There's no coordination. Nobody is regulating that system, and everyone is doing what he or she thinks that is right. And the ordinary Ghanaian is suffering.
That's true. It's very, very sad. And, another aspect of all this, what you mentioned, that the people, even where they are standing to get the cars, is not safe.
Right.
And that begs the question that our bus stops, we claim to have bus stops, but these bus stops, yes, there has been a space made, but it is obviously not enough. It is also not, I think it doesn't have enough resources to even hold the number of people that will come there and all of that. And it's like when we are thinking about this reset agenda and all of that, it looks like there's so much to reset that if we don't take care, we may have to, I think, how our phones are misbehaving, you have to restart the whole phone. We may just have to put the whole country in a refresher something and restart the whole country, because it seems so many things are contributing to this. Because when you mentioned that the people where they are standing is not safe, it just took my mind back to Medina we don't even have a bus stop there per se. It is the inner lane that is supposed to lead you into the market that has become a bus stop for people in the cars. And sometimes when someone is trying to enter into the market, the place is so choked that you just regret entering into that lane. And it's a one-way, so you would be there. There are people, there are cars. And sometimes, if you don't take care, these cars are moving anyhow. They might just hit you at any time. And it makes you wonder, aside the fact that the demand is so high, people are so desperate, they're not looking at doing the right thing anymore. Another aspect of this is the fact that sometimes even boarding the car, you would see that someone will open the back seat window, climb on what's the name of it, the tire, and just dive into the car. Now, so much can happen. you can injure yourself. Like, there are so many dangers out there, and people are so desperate to go home that they're not even thinking about their own safety. That is the point we are in right now.
Wow. And to add to it, when you go to AMA, right adjacent, there's Medina Station. Actually, there's no Medina Station. There's no bus stop.
It's just a space.
And it's in, the cars are so much in the road. The fact that a brake can lose in a car, and then we will not hear a good story. We will not hear a good story at all, honestly. And I feel like sometimes we also blame like the drivers. Okay, you know, you're not. This place is not a bus stop. You're not supposed to load from there, but then they still go ahead and load.
And you see, everybody has a justification for whatever they will do. Yeah. The driver will tell you, you know, say the pedestrians will also tell you that where they have to go to pick the car is far. It's more convenient here, and it is still not. It's still not justifiable in any way. But they will continue perpetrating such acts.
You see, with what is happening currently, from what I've seen so far, I wouldn't blame the drivers in terms of safety. I wouldn't blame the drivers, but I'll blame the commuters, the people who are looking for the cars. Like the place I cited, for instance, there is a bus stop there. But the people are so desperate to the extent that they will not even allow the car to even park. So as the car is coming,
they are also moving towards the car.
You understand?
Survival of the fittest.
It's very sad. And so for that, I will not blame the drivers at all. Sometimes the drivers want to park at a safe place, but you know, the passengers will not allow. And as the car is moving, they are trying to get into the car, which is very bad.
We as a nation have overused the desperation for access to certain things. We have abused it to the point where indiscipline is also tied into it. Yeah. That now you cannot even separate the two. Because you, even as far as thinking about going into, when people go to the other countries, they get culture shocks about hawkers, that there's nobody, you know, in traffic to buy pure water from, and things like that. And these are all things that are ingrained within us, that we have become so used to that we see it as normal. And imagine trying to bring a change into this kind of system. How would that work? Even though in the long run it benefits all of us. How would that even work? Anyway, still on the flood issue, there has been a collapse, a building collapse at Adenta new site. So I'll just take the story briefly. We'll be speaking with the Ghana National Fire Service about this issue, and then also the fact that it's been 11 years yesterday since the June 3rd disaster, and you know, what growth as a nation have we undergone. So yes, a one-story residential building comprising a ground and first floor apartments collapsed at Adenta new site near Dayesu Asi supermarket in Accra during the heavy downpour, that's yesterday evening, trapping 5 persons beneath the debris. Now, prior to the arrival of the Ghana National Fire Service rescue team from the national headquarters, 2 injured persons had been rescued and conveyed to the hospital for medical treatment. The fire service rescuers have since successfully rescued 2 additional injured occupants, and all 4 rescued victims are currently receiving medical attention at the 37 military hospital. A dog that was trapped was also rescued from the scene shortly after, and rescue operations remain underway as the Ghana National Fire Service personnel continue efforts to locate and rescue the remaining occupant, a woman who is still trapped underneath the debris. The Ghana National Fire Service acknowledges and commends the swift efforts of the community members who assisted in the initial rescue of the 2 trapped occupants, as well as all supporting agencies for their timely collaboration and support at the scene. Further updates will be provided as the operation progresses. So yes, we hope that the 5th person is also found, and yes, we commend all the stakeholders involved in, you know, rescuing the people that were trapped under this building. Now, yes, the rain issue. The rain has caused a building to collapse. 11 years ago, yesterday, there was a tragic incident that was also by virtue of the fact that the rains were heavy. There was a heavy downpour, and I think that some places were so heavily flooded that people went to seek some sort of refuge at a filling station. Now, the flood had also been so heavy that the fuel tanks underground were also leaking, and because oil and water don't mix, so oil would come to be on the surface of the water, and one way or another that sparked an explosion. There was a flammable something. I think from the reports we heard it was a cigarette. It may have been a cigarette that was lit, and it caused an explosion, costing the lives of over 100 people, and a lot more were also injured. Down the line, what do you think have we grown? Have we done better for ourselves as a nation?
Yeah, in terms of this, I would say we've done a whole lot, but it's not enough. Especially looking at the report given by the committee that was tasked to investigate it. When you look at the report, and then 11 years down the line, I would say that there's more room for improvement. We have to do a whole lot. And so looking at the report, the committee said that it was not just one cause, it was a chain of events. The committee said the disaster happened through 3 connected areas. And then the first one, the remote cause was, like you rightly stated, the heavy rain caused massive flooding around Kwame Nkrumah. So flood water displaced or washed fuel from the Gwari filling station into the flooded streets. And like you said, the cigarette, stuff dropped into the fuel, contaminated flood water, which ignited the fire and caused explosion. Now, looking at that, 11 years down the lane, looking at our filling stations, the settings, has there been any changes in terms of regulations and policies with regards to setting up fuel filling stations? Has there been any changes? Today, when I was coming, that's the same lane we use. And I realized that it's still at the lowlands.
Nothing has changed.
And then when it rains, the place still gets flooded because of, you see, the other time, on Monday on Live Matters, Mimi was explaining some of the reasons why Accra floods like every year. And then she made mention of infrastructure, like the development and what have you. It looks as though when you look at that environment, that place, all the place has been, they are concrete.
Yeah.
So when it rains,
the water does not have anywhere to go. Yeah.
So it just flows, just like that. And when I was coming, I saw it's almost the same thing. That, the place was flooded. It was clear that it flooded, but it has actually, find its way to some places. And when it comes, when you look at that, then it means that we are not picking lessons from what actually transpired. And then when you look at the second one, they made mention of human behavior plus human behavior and environment combined. The report stressed that people had taken shelter at the filling station because of the rain. And people had leaked. With this, because of this, most people do not take shelter at filling stations whenever it's
once bitten, twice shy.
Exactly. And so for that, I would say that the good people of Ghana have actually learned a lessons. And then in terms of communication and education, we've done well with that regards. And then they also made mention of the impact. Like you rightly stated, about 150 people died and so many people also injured. But let's look at the recommendations from the committee and just oppose it to the current happenings if we've actually done what was required of us. Now, they reported, the report pushed for prevention measures like dredging and desilting of drains, especially the Odo River. With that, I would say that we are on it. We've done a little bit. If you take a look at the Garrett project that is actually currently ongoing, we are still on it, but there's more room for improvement.
But it's been 11 years. Why are we still on it?
And so like I stated earlier, that the report from the World Bank, they are actually supporting this Garrett project. And I stated that the money involved is $350 million. And then they were supposed to finish even before this year, but they've asked for extension. So they are supposed to finish next year, 2027. And some of the reports is that whenever they silt these gutters, they come the following day and the good people of Ghana have filled back the thing with plastics and what have you. And so it is making the work very tedious for them.
So is it that they only go there to desilt and don't engage other stakeholders like sanitation, public health officials and all of that to let the people know that this is not a dumping ground? And then
you dump, you are going to
you would even be given a fine. And then this is the alternative. Dump your refuse here. These are the provided necessary dump trucks or whatever, resources have been provided. Because Ghanaians or humans in general, if you don't give, if you are trying to get them off one path, you have to make sure that wherever you are taking them is something they can adapt to. Because if you tell them don't dump here and you haven't given them anywhere else to also dump their refuse, they will say, I cannot keep the rubbish in my home.
Right.
This is where I've been dumping. My great-grandparents have been doing same.
So apart from educating the people, sensitizing them on some of these issues, as Yaya was rightfully saying, I think it's quite okay if you tell them the solutions too. Because if it feels like, yes, I know for some years now, for some time now, we have been saying, oh, the people are the main cause and all of that. But if you find or you tell them where to be dumping some of these rubbish, it would also help in a way. Because they also cannot obviously keep the waste or the rubbish in their homes. Do you get it? That's the whole point now.
And even considering the location, people do business there. There are millions of people that pass there every day and all of that. It all contributes to the amount of rubbish that would be accumulated even daily, not to talk of weekly or monthly. So what is the alternative there? Because I think there are certain places where you find a very big dump truck where most of the time, I think the few I've seen, they're always overflowing anyway, but at least it's there. So sometimes the people, they realize, okay, they can't throw the rubbish in, so they put it beside it so that when it's going to be emptied, at least the rubbish is all in one portion, of the area. It could help. Is there anything like that?
We have all the rules, the policies, and everything on paper.
Beautifully on paper.
And it's not working. And so it remains that in terms of waste management, there have been some improvement, but still there's a problem. And that one, I think government needs to check on that, and private institutions should also come and help. Since 2015, more private waste companies introduce cleanup exercises, increase public awareness campaigns, and what have you. But yes, still, last week we were talking about the, cleanup exercise at the end of every month and the 8 o'clock a.m. But people are not still, following that order.
Yeah.
And in terms of, like you rightly said, in terms of waste disposal too, we don't have, actual places for that. Even with these tricycles that come around to pick refuse, we don't know where they go to dump them. They come, they take money, nobody's regulating them and what have you. And so in terms of that, we still need to do more. And then in terms of flood control and urban planning, I would say there's been limited success because people are still building on waterways. Yesterday in the news, we heard that the people Pantine in the Gas Central, they are threatening to, boycott the 2028 elections because of this situation. That some private, individuals are building on waterways. They made mention of the water, Dakobi River. They are blocking,
Yes, so some people have actually filled a whole river or a small stream and have built there. I think I even saw a post of someone also talking about Lakeside, a similar situation. And you see the other day we were talking about the fact that some of these places have names which we are supposed to take note of because these names are indicative of what's going on in the neighborhood and the structure of the topography and all of that. And yet, here we are.
People are still buying land. People are still
they are selling it for cheap too because it's also in Accra. And the people selling it know that, yes, people want to buy, and as much as it is dangerous, because it's cheap, they will get money quickly and, be rid of the land. And there are desperate people too who also want... Be someone like me, I want, somewhere close to work so that I can live life rather than living on the road for 3-4 hours a day. So obviously someone who's desperate, who wants to live in Accra close to work, would go and buy that piece of land and then find themselves a few years later in trouble.
And that is why I'll continue to say that, I mean, we have the laws. Let's just enforce them. And so, in as much as you want to live closer to your work and what have you, it shouldn't be that you have to build illegally. And look at what happened. Look at what happened 11 years ago. Look at the people that suffered. If we are doing things right and we are preventing people from building illegally, and the people involved, our chiefs, our town planning, everyone is up and doing, there are some of these things that we can prevent. Because if you continue to say that, because of safety reasons, because of conveniency or other stuff, we will continue to behave as though we don't know what is at stake. We wouldn't be, I mean, we won't get to where we are supposed to get to as a country.
Peter, these people, especially the end consumers, the people who end up buying the land, I want to disagree in a way about the illegal thing, because most of these people, maybe if let's say we decide, let's go demolish, let's find out what is happening, these people may be able to produce documents and say that I bought this land legitimately. I didn't know of this and that, but I bought it. And it's been registered, Lands Commission, all of the necessary land titles, blah, blah, blah. And we will be blaming the people who bought the land. But what about the people who sold the land, the people who had gone through all the bureaucracies necessary to make this land accessible to somebody? Because someone gave the permit. Someone signed it off.
Right.
Where these people paid off, these are the people we also need to think about. Because before you even go to do some of these things, you go to the district assembly or municipal assembly, do all of that. You go to the, even, when you go to, is it the Lands Commission or the land titles? One of them, but one of these facilities, you go there, they are able to even map out where the land is. They are able to tell you this is a road, this is a that, this is a that, this is a waterway, this is a Ramsar site. But one way or the other, somebody sanctions it for it to be sold, for it to become a building somewhere, for someone to build. And even these buildings too, they are given building permits. Who sanctions these things? Knowing very well that that piece of land or that area is waterlogged, is a waterway, is supposed to be a Ramsar site, all of that. These are the people we need to start looking out and smoke them out, so to say.
It's like the issue is like the fight against galamsey. So we have campaigns and we have those who are there to just earn money. And so in this contest, those who are giving the permits and those who are building, funny enough, those who build in waterways, they are not rested, they don't stay there. They build to give it out for
real estate,
for others as well.
Yes.
But then it's so sad that if we don't learn from our mistakes, then it means that there's a possibility that in the future we might also experience what happened.
We are already experiencing it
11 years ago, and it's so sad. Even with the old ones who, the victims, we are still commemorating them almost every year. Yesterday I saw videos online, and it's so sad seeing them in their injuries and
they are still asking for justice.
Yes.
And then we come to that. And
some of them are also in court still about this.
Yes. The fourth recommendation is about emergency response system. And then I would say we've improved, but it's not perfect when it comes to the Ghana Fire Service, NADMO. They are supposed to work hand in hand. And with what we've seen so far, we've seen that the coordination is there, but we still need more. There's more room for improvements. And then in terms of equipment for the Ghana National Fire Service too, it's something we've been talking about. And recently, the Interior Ministry gave the service some cars to help them get to sites very quickly. But we are still fighting. We are still asking government to get them more equipment in terms of the fire tenders and what have you. And so with that, and then the fifth one that I'll talk about is the fuel station safety and regulation. There was a partial action, but 11 years down the line, we've not seen anything. Stricter guidelines on certain fuel stations were reinforced. Safety inspections increased in theory. Like I said, safety inspections increased in theory. But in reality, it's none. Like I said, the filling station is still there, and there are many other filling stations that when you look at the places that these stations have been built, it's questionable. Like you rightly said, who permitted that? We have rules, we have regulations in this country. And so we need to do more as a country. And so when you look at the bigger picture, what the committee wanted versus the reality, the committee, like I stated, asked for strong drainage overhaul, strict urban planning enforcement, permanent maintenance system, zero tolerance for building on waterways. But in reality, infrastructure improved in places, policies exist on paper, enforcement inconsistent, flood risk in Accra still remains high every rainy season. And so I've been going through all the flood-prone areas, reading all the reports.
The whole Accra is a flood-prone city.
Going through the reports from NADBO, from Ghana National Fire Service, and from urban planners, and I realized that our problem is it's not that huge, but it looks as though we are supposed to do something before we do what we are doing currently, and what we are supposed to do before we admonish people to desilt their gutters, ensure that they don't build on waterways, is what the Garrett project seeks to be doing. Though when you trace our water bodies, like from Eburi, when it rains, the mountainous areas, when it rains, the water flows down. Yeah. And so if people are building on waterways, it blocks, the water from flowing. And then when you check straight from Eburi, you can trace it through to the Odo River, the lagoon. And then when it rains, like I stated, that most of the places here in Accra, especially Lawrence, like Circle, Kwame Nkrumah Circle, they've used pavement, and so when it rains, it just gather. And even
when they do the secondary and tertiary drains too, people use these drains as their waste management.
Yes. So until we're able to desilt this Odo River, and then
but Odo is not the only problem.
But that is the river that is supposed to accumulate all these, when it rains. Yeah. It's supposed to pass through the drains that we have, so that the Odo River will accumulate it, and in return, it will get to the sea. Yes, but here lies the case.
People have blocked, like I say, even from Ebri. Yeah. The blockages all the way wouldn't even get to the Odo.
That has been the problem. And so I think that these are the things that government and private institutions should tackle. Once they are able to tackle that, and there's free flow of water through that is where we can now admonish citizens not to be dumping refuse anyhow. You have to be desilting your gutters and ensure that you don't build on waterways. But if you don't do that and you desilt your gutter, you try to put things in place. Whenever it rains, the drainage that we have in certain areas, it is too small that it cannot even contain the amount of water.
So it ends up overflowing and then getting into their homes.
Yeah. But if this Odona and the other ones are clean, there are no plastics and water is flowing.
There's a whole river also in Bantain that has been filled. How about that one? So it's a mindset thing too. And this desilting of our gutters, I think, in my neighborhood, actually, the road is pretty good. Now, with every construction of a road, they make sure you're supposed to have the gutter beside. The gutter is there, and now construction is ongoing. That area is now up and coming. People are starting to invest in real estate there and all of that. And you know what has happened? With the construction going on, the gutters have now been choked with silt and construction material. So this is not even refuse dumping. It's sand and maybe mixed with a little bit of refuse. And there's a portion of the road where it's so choked that when it rains, the water overflows and then it compromises the integrity of the road. Now the road has become, it's like, so with the distance, if it's a 1 kilometer road, it's about just maybe 100 meters of that road that has just become a rough road. Instead of the people who are doing the construction along these two sides of the road to desilt it, they've come to pour sand and stones
on it.
there.
It's very sad. And you see, when
and it's still raining, and it's so, and nobody is interested in desilting these gutters.
Are there no homes?
There are homes there,
around.
And that's what I'm saying is a mentality thing. That people, for one reason or the other, think that certain things are for the government, but the government is not living there with you. These gutters that are choked, these roads that have become bad, are destroying your shocks. They are. I think some of the stones. I think there was a driver that was complaining that the stones are sharp. It can puncture your tire. All of these things will incur costs for you if none of us rise up to say that no, let's do something about this. Let us clear up these gutters. The silt. I think again, going back to agriculture back in primary school JHS, these things are quite fertile. They fertilize the land. I think it's good soil for crops and all of that. Why don't we find a farmer and dash him the soil to help with, maybe he's even following his land at the moment, pour it there, rather than putting it on the shoulders of the road, it rains and it goes back inside.
Back in there.
And that is where education needs to come in. Because at the end of the day, it's like cost 90.
Exactly.
Instead of you taking it from there, you just...
It's beyond educational, or...
I mean, once you've taken the initiative that, this gutter is choked, like they used to say communal labor. That's what you want to do.
Yes, we don't do that anymore.
And just leave it there. Once it rains, it just, you understand? So if you look at that, then it means that there's no even need for you to even sell the gutters. And that's why I'm saying that there should be more education. It should be something that we should be talking about more every day. Like every day should be part of our conversations that this is it. There's more, do this and do that. I mean, with time, you adjust to it. And I mean,
but I think I saw a post that was about the fact that I think the traditional councils had come, I think the ban on music and all of that, yes, a ban on noise making, and put it that way, they had come to confront, was it a church or a group of people or something? And the comments about that was that they are able to, or the necessary bodies are able to rise when, it interests them, like this ban on noise making. But they will not come and rise up and, try to get the community members to do the right thing when it comes to other things. Why is the culture more important than the environment? Are these things not enmeshed together? So you see that they're saying, if it is coming to fight over, I think there was even a clash with, was it the Nima boys or so, and the traditional council around those areas, the Nima, Newtown areas. And, so these people, so it means that there are actually bodies there that are supposed to do these things, because you can come out to do some sort of supervisory and even, sanctionary roles or play them. But when it comes to certain things, everybody's quiet.
Yeah. So I think at this time, like you said earlier, sometimes it's beyond education, because we've been preaching sanitation, and I feel like the stakeholders are trying to do their best, but it is like human behavior. Do you get it? And I think it's high time we still go back to this town council thing. Chiefs have a role to play. Religious leaders also have a role to play. Last week, we were citing examples where even in our basic and primary schools, we were taught that when you litter or when you pour something waste, you'll be punished for that. I think it's high time we put that practice in the community as well. It's not a discipline for just students, for them, no. As students, you're coming to the community, it should be like your sole responsibility as a citizen. Because as I said, if the gutters are choked with our own, doings, it ends up getting back to our homes.
Yes, and the government's there every day, you
get it. So I think it's high time the community leaders as well. Because honestly, recently I saw a news where they were like, they're paying community chiefs or whatever. If you are being paid, then it means you also have a role to play in the society.
Yes.
So you see, I see it to be, I mean, if you want them to work, then it means that you have to give them incentives. And so
you are employed. Your first and only, your main incentive is your salary.
Yes.
Before, by goodwill and hopefully more income, you get some bonuses and incentives. But your main incentive is your salary. You are employed to do this.
No, I'm not even talking about the authorities in power.
Okay.
Now we are admonishing, or
the community members.
The community members should do. Gone are the days that they did it out of free will. So they want to keep the environment clean. But these days, if you ask someone to do something, they are expecting something in return. And so last Monday, Miriam's guest was saying that he has boys that he gives them something to ensure that they desilt gutters and be as like watch people. That when people want to desilt anyhow, they report and so I think that there should be, if not from government, from the community, the assembly, that they should get people dedicated to be doing that and they'll be giving them something. Because other than that, I mean, each and everyone knows that when something goes wrong in terms of sanitation, it affects all of them. But they don't care to, they don't want to do.
So why don't we have the MMDCs and the rest employ people, put them on the payroll for that? Then when they also come and work, community members who are also available and are attached by the good work they do or they've done can also give them something.
I think the last time
you had... these people can become armed robbers in the neighborhood.
I think the last time where you had an interview with the bus stop boys, he mentioned something like that. Why shouldn't there be institutions where people can be employed to do some of the jobs? Because when you look at it, you know, when people are motivated, they tend to, you know, do the job willingly. But then again, I will go back to the fact that the gutter that is choked is right in front of you. Let's say the gutter is choked. It's flooded, mosquitoes are there. You are the one who's going to suffer the consequences.
Then, okay, human beings, considering what we are saying
because you
about
can't tell me that
behavior,
your house is bushy and then you are not cutting weeds and all of that. Who bear it?
These are the same people that there is a road. It's not tarred, right? Your house is here, my house is here. I will tar just the entrance of my house. The rest is not my concern. And then I will smooth out the place so that when I'm coming out or going in, these things are happening. They are in so many neighborhoods. Even in my neighborhood, yes. They will just tar where, you know, their land is. And they don't think that it is the right thing to do, to just come together and do it together for that it to benefit everywhere. It's abaying Juma. But abaying is not everywhere with you. And we're not saying, you know, I'm not advocating for us to take over government's responsibilities and the rest. But my mother would always say, brighten the corner where you are. Where you are, if all three of us live together and the road is not good, obviously, if we come together to fix it, it benefits us. It does not benefit the president. You know, it benefits us that, look, this is where we are. Our cars are not missing their shocks. Our tires are not getting punctured. Our children are safe. The mosquitoes and things, diseases are not so prevalent in our neighborhood. Is it not us that will benefit? But how many Ghanaians even think like that?
Yeah, so like what I was saying, like the flow of water from Aburi, that I have been able to find out something.
Okay.
So when rain falls in the higher areas, so when it rains, water starts from elevated areas such as the Aburi, Amasamai, Ofanko, Adenta, Boba, and Hachu. So the water naturally flows downhill towards central Accra. And then the Odo catchment extends from the foothills around Aburi through much of Accra before reaching the coast. And so from those places, Aburi down to Aboba, Hachu, many streams then collect runoff from neighborhoods and feed into the main river system. And then the major ones are the Onyansa Stream River. I don't know if I got the name right. And then the Jowulu Stream, the Nima Stream. Then smaller drains from Kaneshi, Kwehe, South Kaneshi, Achimota, then surrounding communities. Then it then flows down. So the main trunk is the Odo River. So water from Dome, Achimota, Legon, Hacho, Aboba, Jowulu, Nima, Mamobi, Newtown, and Kaneshi, they all drains into the Odo River. Okay. And then, so the Odo River catchment handles stream water from roughly about 60% of Accra. And that's why I'm saying that if the Odo River itself is full of silt, plastic, and what have you, it cannot contain these waters. And so what happened is that it just flood, it splits all over these places. And that's why we see flood always. So the Odo River flows through Circle. So the giant concrete drain passes through Kwame Nkrumah Circle and the Odona. And it's essentially channelized Odo River. So flooding at Circle is is such a big deal, you know, and it is one of the major choke points of water from a huge part of Greater Accra, like I stated. So the Odo now empties into the Kwale Kwale Lagoon. So the Odo, you know, absorbs the water from all these areas. Then it then empties it into the Kwale Lagoon. So
Kwale
after passing
Lagoon
through,
has its own issues.
it is choked. So you can imagine. So our issue is just so the lagoon, the Kwale Lagoon also empties it into the sea. And so we have big drainage that is connected to this Odo, then the Kwale Lagoon. So from the Odo, then it moves to the Kwale Lagoon, then the Kwale Lagoon then discharge it into the sea. But this Odo and Kwale Lagoon is choked with plastics. And so that is where the problem is.
Well, I think maybe there should be a program like the Government Accountability Series or something, or like, you know, during the COVID era where we used to have the updates, where we can have maybe the president invite someone who knows the topography of the Accra land very well and can have the nation's attention and explain to us properly what is going on, so that when demolition exercises are ongoing, you know, people will understand that this is why your building is in the waterway, so we may have to lift it off and find an alternative for you. Because I think, I don't know if you saw posts about these demolition exercises, some of them were starting and all of that, and some of them, I think there was a lady who, I think she wanted to jump into the road or jump somewhere. Her young son was trying to prevent her from doing that because that is her shelter. And all of these things, we still need to be a little strict on them and still do them, even regardless of the fact that people are going to be inconvenienced greatly. But from the humane perspective, that's why I always keep talking about an alternative. You can't just leave people homeless because the nation is flooding.
Yeah, we have the best minds ever. We have them here. We have them in terms of they know. They understand everything, but just that our behavior. I don't want to. Let me just say it. Corruption is killing us in this country. You know that what you're doing is not right. Like you rightly said, it starts from 1 to 2 to 3. The one who sells the land, the one who is buying it, the one who
is doing the documentation. Yes.
So it's a change something, and it's something that we have the best minds. They are here, they understand the topography, everything, they will explain to you. But at the end of the day, on paper, we have it beautifully sitting there. But when it comes to reality, that maybe Ira is supposed to ensure that nobody does this, Beverly is supposed to ensure that nobody does it. At the end of the day, we will see what we don't want to see, we will see it there. And then when you go to Ira will say, oh, this one did this and this, that. You come to Beverly and Beverly will be saying that this. And at the end of the day, you wouldn't know who to blame. But then we have the law. So the law is there. Let's just enforce the law. And that will be all.
Let's enforce the law. Let's also renew our minds daily and, you know, try to pick up better practices to help ourselves in our environment. This brings us to the end of the online and print review segments with my co-host here. Up next is the sports segments. We'll be with you shortly.
Viewers, good morning and welcome back to the sports update segment on your favorite morning show, the Koko Morning Show. You know, here we bring you nothing but the best in the world of sports, and we are covering all the action, both local and international. And you know, we are heading towards the World Cup. We have less than 8 days to the USA, Canada, Mexico World Cup that is going to be held soon. That is coming up very soon. We have less than a week more to the beginning of the tournament, and I can't wait. I know you can't wait too. Before I start with my stories for today, we have an interesting story that has to do with the Black Stars landing in the US of A in preparations for their first game or the games in the World Cup. So yes, the Black Stars, we've landed in the US of A, and then it was quite interesting. It was very fun. We saw the players, arriving at the airport, and we saw the fans. Wherever Ghana is, there is the cultural identity. So you could see the Adowa dance, the Kete dance, the cultural troupe showing off, playing our cultural songs and all that. So yes, the Black Stars, we've landed in the USA. Let me use that to just encourage the boys. We are here for you. Yes, we are over here supporting you, praying with you guys, and hoping that you do better for us. Now let me move on to our stories for today. Our first story for today is quite an interesting one. We have our very own Otumfuo Osei-Tutu. Yes, he's to watch the Black Stars opener against Panama in Toronto. Yes, so we have Otumfuo Osei-Tutu traveling all the way to Canada to watch the Black Stars match. This is just because he has a business summit with the Ghana-Canada summit. They have a business summit over there in Canada. So after the summit, he intends to watch the opener. So he's been invited as a special guest for this summit, and then he won't just go and watch, support the summit. But since he is there in Canada, he used the opportunity to, support the Black Stars in our first opener game, that is against Panama on the 17th of June. Group L, the first opener game for the Black Stars against Panama on the 17th of June. So Otumfuo Osei-Tutu is attending a World Cup business summit, like I said earlier, in Toronto. So since he is there from the 15th to 21st of June, so since he is there, he used the opportunity to go to the stadium to go and support our boys, against the Panama team. Yes, and now our next story for today also is still on the Black Stars. We have our very own Thomas Partey. So the Black Stars urged to stand by Thomas Partey amid the England handshake debate. So for those of us who don't know, I'll just go briefly into the story. So we have an issue. Thomas Partey has an issue in the United Kingdom. He's on trial for an alleged rape case. Yes, so he hasn't been convicted yet, but he's on trial. And due to this, the English FA, the England FA, they were discussing amongst themselves whether the pre-match rituals that goes on between opponents that are going to face each other, that is Ghana versus England, whether the players should exchange handshakes with Thomas Partey, which let me just be neutral, but I don't think this is the best for the team Black Stars. But yes, that is what they are saying. They want to know if they should go ahead with the handshakes with Thomas Partey. But our very own Coach Nimley is saying that if the England FA are contemplating as to whether they should shake hands with Thomas Partey, who has played in Arsenal, one of the big teams in England, for some time now, for some years now. He was a key figure in the team Arsenal. He was a key figure in them getting to where they've gotten to now. And today, if you want to sideline him because of an alleged case in which he hasn't been convicted yet, and you're contemplating whether to exchange handshakes with him, okay, fine. Then the Black Stars team, let us stand behind our very own Thomas Partey, and then avoid handshakes with the English national team players also. So if they're contemplating not to shake hands with Thomas Partey, then there wouldn't be any handshakes between the Ghanaian national team players and then the England national team players. So yes, that is a story that is trending, that is coming up due to this World Cup, due to the issue with Thomas Partey. Now, our last story for today has to do with international transfers, and then we know when it's getting to the time ending of the season, or when the season ends, and then there is the season is coming, another season is coming up. Teams tend to sell players, buy players, sell players, buy players. Recently we had Barcelona trying to sign Alvarez, which is proving difficult. Unfortunately, Atletico Madrid is doing wonders with it, so let them do what they want to do. But then this story is about Real Madrid, the arch rivals of Barcelona, signing Dumfries. Yes, so here we go. That is Fabrizio, as usual. Fabrizio, here we go. So Dumfries has signed for Real Madrid, so we know Dumfries is going to play for Real Madrid next season. We know Denzel Dumfries, who is a Dutch player, is now moving to Real Madrid from Inter. So yes, on the 20 million euros release clause. So we have Dumfries going to join the Real Madrid Giants, Spanish Giants, and all that. And then we hope to see them, we hope to see him, perform better and do well as he moves to Real Madrid. Now that's it for the sports update segment. My name is Benedict Ketia-Kwarteng. Next is the business segment.
The business update segment on the Koko Digest Morning Show. And as usual on this segment, we provide you with the latest in the world of business, expert analysis and market trends that will impact your business and investment decisions. I am your host, Peter Isia. Now to our stories. Finance Minister Dr. Kasiel Atoforsen says Ghana's inflation rate is expected to stay below 5% by the end of 2026, despite rising tensions in the Middle East and their potential impact on global fuel and commodity prices. His comments come after inflation edged up to 3.4% in April from 3.2% in March, ending a 15-month decline. There's more to this story.
Wilson acknowledged that higher fuel and fertilizer costs will put pressure on prices, but expressed confidence that Ghana's strong foreign exchange reserves, rising gold exports and favorable commodity prices will help pushing the economy. He added that while inflation may increase slightly in the incoming month, it is unlikely to exceed 5% by the end of the year.
Away from that story, the Bank of Ghana has urged businesses, investors, and other market participants to base their foreign exchange transactions on genuine business needs rather than speculation as efforts continue to maintain stability in the city. Speaking at the Money Summit, Second Deputy Governor Matilda Asante-Asiedu said speculative activities could create unnecessary pressure on the foreign exchange market and undermine recent economic gains.
Her comments came as the cedi recorded slight losses against major currencies last week. Despite this, she noted the stronger foreign exchange reserves, improved inflows, and growing confidence in the economy have helped support the local currency. The central bank believes that allowing market fundamentals to guide decisions will help sustain exchange rate stability, ease inflationary pressures, and strengthen the economy. Her comments came as the cedi recorded slight losses against major currencies last week. Despite this, she noted the stronger foreign exchange reserves, improved inflows, and growing confidence in the economy have helped support the local currency. The central bank believes that allowing market fundamentals to guide decisions will help sustain exchange rate stability, ease inflationary pressures, and strengthen the economy.
Declined to 10.02% for June 2026 from 10.03% in May, extending the steady decline in benchmark lending rates. The Ghana reference rate, which took effect on 3rd June 2026, is used by commercial banks as a guide for pricing loans. Its continued decline reflects improving economic conditions, including lower inflation, relative exchange rate stability, and easing pressures in the money market. There's more to this story.
The rate has fallen significantly from 14.58% in February to 11.71% in March, 10.06% in April, 10.03% in May, and now 10.02% in June. Analysts say the trend could gradually support lower lending rates and improve access to credit for businesses, although banks are likely to remain cautious as they consider credit risks and broader market conditions when pricing loans. The rate has fallen significantly.
Up next is the lifestyle segment with Bevlin Annabelle Ajibia. Please stay with us.
I love you cause it's you, not for money, but for you. Amazing lyrics from Adina featuring Sina. So a good morning to you, a cherished viewer, and you're welcome to Lifestyle right here on the Koko Digest Morning Show. My name is Honorable Bevin Ejavia. Now, this morning we are talking women's health. You know, as females, our reproductive system is a very complex one and a remarkable, phenomenon. It requires continuous care, regular medical attention, and monitoring throughout a woman's life, even from puberty, throughout the reproductive years to even the menopause stage. Yet, now, despite its importance, many reproductive health conditions often go, undetected or are even dismissed until they gradually begin to affect a woman's quality of life. And so today we explore one such reality through a story of a woman whose battle with endometriosis and adenomyosis led to multiple surgeries and lost her womb due to that. Now, her journey is not only a personal one, but also a powerful reminder of the importance of awareness, early detection, and prioritization of women's, health. So stay with us this morning, and I want you to help me welcome Mr. Lata to our studios. Hello, Mr. Lata.
Hi.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm good, and you?
I'm doing well. I would like you to pronounce the name for us.
So my name is Akunzirigo Azitarigatungan Matalata.
Powerful name.
Yeah.
Very powerful one. Very powerful one. So this morning you're walking us through endometriosis and endomyosis. You're helping us create awareness on this particular one. But I would like to know, before this journey, before there was endometriosis and adenomyosis, what was life was for you? How was life like?
So you don't just get endometriosis and just get adenomyosis. You are actually born with it, and like you grow up. But till when the symptoms become severe, that's when you are diagnosed. So I've been living with the condition for 17 years because I started menstruating at 15. That's when the symptoms started showing, because I had prolonged menstruation and all that. But prior to that, as a normal child, brilliant, smart, because at 15, I was in, I think, secondary school. I was in secondary school. That's when my menses actually started. When I was in school, did everything like everybody, basic school, high school, uni. Then I went into a beauty pageant.
Right.
So even during my stay in the house, during the entire competition, I was still going through this. At a point, there was an episode, I had blacked out, went to the hospital and all that. So it was after the pageant that I made a very conscious effort to actually look for solutions to my problem. Because then I had a diagnosis which was an abnormal uterine bleed. Or yes, so it means I'm bleeding, but we don't know what exactly is happening. So it's just abnormal that a woman should bleed like that. Because I could go for like 3 months, I'll bleed non-stop, 6 non-stop, and I could go a year.
Right.
So that's how bad it was. But along the line, you get a lot of misdiagnosis. You go from fibroids to endometrial polyps to the earlier one I mentioned, an abnormal uterine bleed. Then on and on you go. Then you keep reading, and sometimes your symptoms are overlapping. So you're even scared you have some sort of cancer or something.
Right.
So yes.
Right. You've taken us like forward. You fast forwarded
okay, sorry.
So let's go back to the
yes.
age of 15 years when you started menstruating. How was the cycle like? How, like your first menses or your first menstruation, was it like normal 7 days, 5 days? And how was the bleeding like? Was it
So I remember very well my first menses. I think it was just spotting. It wasn't really, I didn't really bleed.
Okay.
3 days. It didn't come again till after a year.
It didn't come again at all until after a year.
A year, yes.
So at what point did you realize that this, or when did you decide to see the doctor?
Oh, when it came the second time after a year, that's when I bled for 3 months. The second time I started, or the second time I bled for 3 months continuously. So I had to see a doctor. So we saw a gynecologist who prescribed some meds, and it was better. But it was something that was coming. It comes with pain, then you black out, you are weak. So it comes with all the symptoms of endometriosis.
But as of that time, were you diagnosed?
No, there was no diagnosis.
So what did the doctor say?
A dysfunctional uterine bleed.
Dysfunctional
uterine bleed, yes.
Right. So at what point was there a surgery?
The surgery started right before COVID. So like the later part of 2019 through to 2020.
That was like the first one?
Yes.
Okay.
Because then I might say I had a lot of diagnosis after 20. So in 2017, there was a lot of efforts to find solutions to what I was going through. And I had a lot of diagnoses from different doctors who said it was fibroids. But then I wasn't convinced because I read a lot, like I do my research a lot. But the fibroid bit, it wasn't something I was buying
So
into.
you didn't accept it at all?
I didn't accept it. But then I got other diagnoses of both fibroids and ovarian cysts. Then at a point I had even a PCOS diagnosis. So it was on and on for a very long time till I think the latter part of 2019 was just bad, so bad that I had to actually go into theater and do a surgery because my dad went out, came back, and they found me in a pool of blood. I'd blacked out. So yes, obviously now, whether I like it or not, I'd have to do one surgery to pave way.
Right. So I would like to take you back again, Mr. Latta.
Right.
So you made mention that for when you started ovulating at the age of 15, for a whole 1 year, you were not, menstruating. So did you see, like after 1 month or after 2 months, did you go to the hospital right there, or you waited like for some time before you went?
I was a normal teenager.
You didn't know what was happening.
I didn't even want it to happen in the first place because I wasn't used to seeing blood and all that. So the menses not even coming is not a problem. And because we are young, our diet and stress, when you're in secondary school, you don't really menstruate like regularly because of sometimes it just comes a bit, sometimes it's scanty.
Right.
Then, as a tomboy, a lot of things didn't matter to me. I didn't even want it to happen in the first place. Right. So it not coming at all didn't bother me. It didn't really bother me like that.
Okay. But when the first menstruation, you told your parents?
Yeah, I did.
Interesting one. There are some times where we experience. My mom kept telling me that every month you're supposed to expect it. So if you don't see it, come to me. So I was just wondering why you didn't tell.
I didn't tell them because the very first one was scanty. Then even before that, I had other reasons I see the doctor. So it is something that we had mentioned along the line, but it wasn't something that we decided to treat. You get it? Right. Yes. I think I've seen a pediatrician then, because even though I wasn't menstruating, I was in a lot of pain. I want us to go to that part that in as much as I wasn't menstruating, I was in a lot of pain. I had a lot of stomach issues, like a lot, like my tummy, my lower abdomen, like that was a problem. It when I was a teenager, even with the absence of the menses. So I was still going to see the doctor. I know that a doctor, that will not be the first point of call. Okay. You are not bleeding. So where is the pain? So they are focusing on the pain.
Right.
So yes. So it's not like we didn't deal with it, but it was dealt with in another way because of the symptoms that were coming up.
Okay. So back in school, in your junior high school, SHS senior high school, how was the journey like?
Very good. Good student. A-class student. So I don't have a problem. My only problem is this condition. Like ever. So I've lived a very good life. I still think my life is good regardless of what I'm going through. So since birth, I've lived a very good life because I have very good support system actually. So
we'll come to that. But you sound very confident. Did he have any, mental toll on you growing up that, you kept bleeding at a point you didn't see your, menses for some time? Did that affect you in any way, even in SHS?
No, the not bleeding. It wasn't a bother to me at all. And maybe it became a bother when I was actually bleeding and it wasn't, and it was non-stop. But not bleeding actually wasn't a problem at all. Yeah, but it was just the pain that was uncomfortable and the blackouts. I mentioned I used to black out a lot. That was a big problem for me. And at a point, yes, you are growing up. It affects you one way or the other. But I think I didn't learn to be confident. I'm just a confident person. So yes, it affected me at a certain point, but we haven't gotten there yet. So when we get there, we'll talk about it.
Right. So we live in a society where people, like you said, endometriosis, the diagnosis doesn't really come early, according to the research that I have done. So they tend to live with it like for so many years. Yeah. And like you said, you were not bothered. I'm sure some women might have also, said the same thing one way or the other. At which point did you tell yourself that I need to get the answers, even after doing your own research?
So the problem with endometriosis, you said you've read, is that it mimics a lot of conditions. If I list the symptoms of endometriosis and I list the symptoms of adenomyosis, I list the symptoms of IBS, irritable bowel syndrome, ovarian cyst, ovarian cancer, cervical cancer. I can list about 20 conditions that mimics endometriosis. That endometriosis actually mimics. Even sometimes with your bladder, your bowel, and all that. So it is difficult to diagnose because initially it is not presenting with... Typically, doctors will actually look for other conditions or causes than go through it. And the thing is, the gold standard for diagnosis and for diagnosing endometriosis is a laparoscopy.
Okay.
So it's difficult to do that, or if a good radiologist is doing it by an MRI. So it's difficult to treat, it's difficult to diagnose, it's difficult to manage.
So what were some of the, let me say, symptoms that you were seeing before, let's say before you were diagnosed of endometriosis? What were the symptoms that you were seeing in your body?
Pain. A lot of pain, like bad pain, bad. That's chronic pelvic pain. Then I throw up a lot.
Okay.
I threw up a lot. Then there's the issue of the bleeding. I've mentioned that already. Then I have this pain in my legs. I feel once, and then my knee.
Both legs?
Yes, both legs. In my knees. And yeah.
And are you able to walk when you feel?
No. Sometimes sometimes it gets so bad, like in 3 months, I can't walk. Like the latter part of last year, it happened. We had an episode like that. September, I think August, September, October, I was just in bed.
So how did these symptoms like affect in terms of your relationships? Because I'm sure if you're not able to move your legs, definitely you'll not be able to, go to so many functions and all of that. How was that affecting your relationships?
So one, even the movement is not about that, that because if you are seated and in your room or in the bed, you both can sit and just have a chat and you are good to go.
Right.
But when it comes to the issue of throwing up, constant throwing up, bouts of it, like a lot of it, and you are bleeding non-stop and it's heavy bleeding, it's going to interfere in your sexual activities. It's going to interfere in you wanting to even go out. The pain is going to interfere in you doing a lot of things. And what chronic pain does to you is that it messes up with your head.
Okay.
You withdraw from people. You don't want to go outside because you are in pain. You don't want to be an inconvenience to people. Because when you go out, maybe you are stepping out at 7. By 9, you want to be home because you are in pain. Then you become like a burden sort of to others. So you don't want to do that. So aside your relationship, it puts a toll on yourself, your friends, and the people around you. Yes.
Right. Were you working at that particular time?
So for the good part, I like money. So
very, very important.
I like money. So I like money. I look at myself and there are lots of things I can't do when I'm working with somebody. So then I was running my business and still I'm running a business.
Okay, what were you doing then?
I have a wholesale. I was distributing beverages and water.
So, Mr. Latta, that particular moment where you were diagnosed of endometriosis, did you have the adenomyosis before endometriosis?
No, so they were coexisting.
Together?
Yes. So, okay. The adenomyosis, the cure, adenomyosis has a cure.
Okay.
And the cure is a hysterectomy. A hysterectomy is the removal of the uterus. So you mentioned earlier, that's why I've jumped to that.
Okay.
So the reason why I was bleeding a lot non-stop is because I had adenomyosis.
Okay.
Adenomyosis acts like endometriosis. So they will tell you that it is the cousin of endometriosis. I'm going to do this two definitions so that everybody understands.
Right.
Endometriosis is when the lining of the uterus, that is called the endometrium, grows elsewhere aside the uterus. So if it's not going in the line, if it's not going in the uterus and it's growing in the walls of the uterus, it is called adenomyosis.
Okay.
If it grows on your bladder, in your pelvic region, in your brain, on your diaphragm, any other place, it is called endometriosis. But if it's in the walls of your uterus, it is called adenomyosis because it is bleeding. You are bleeding non-stop, and the pain is as bad as endometriosis. So those who suffer from it say it is a cousin of endometriosis, but both of them can coexist. That's one problem too with endometriosis. It coexists with a lot of conditions. You might have endometriosis and have PCOS or PMOS, endometriosis and fibroid, endometriosis with ovarian cyst, endometriosis with a lot of other conditions. So yes.
So that very moment where you were diagnosed with endometriosis and let's say adenomyosis, what was the first thing that was running through your mind?
It was a relief, right?
Why did you say it was a relief?
I must tell you that I had a lot of surgeries because before I had my diagnosis, I think I had like 8. I'd had 8 surgeries before I had my diagnosis.
Okay. What was the very first surgery about? At what age was that?
Oh, that was like, I think 25, 26, thereabout. I can't do the calculation. I can't do the math right now.
But that was the very first surgery. Yes. And what was the first surgery about?
It was for fibroids. Okay. And there was really fibroids. Then there was another one for endometrial polyps. And there was endometrial polyp. Like, so you see what I keep talking about. So then you go in, then we know that, okay, the fibroids is causing you to bleed. We go in, we take out the fibroids, and you are still bleeding. So you get it. So you do this back and forth for a very long time. Then they are doing hysteroscopies. They go inside your uterus to check what is inside and come back, do all these things, and you still don't have a diagnosis. So eventually, I am reading, I've seen a number of doctors, I've done a number of surgeries. So I see a new doctor. I've read, I have my own suspicions.
Right.
You understand? I have my own suspicions. Then I go see a doctor. Then he says, I have heard you. I suspect two things from your history. It's either you have PCOS, now we say it's PMOS, or you have endometriosis and adenomyosis. I am relieved. But he says, I have to go in and diagnose you. So now you have to perform a laparoscopy. So you have to go in with the camera and all that and see how bad the situation is. So they go in, then he diagnoses me. So
that was after about how many surgeries?
Yeah, that would be my the ninth one. So we go in and we come back. Then he says, yes, you are stage 4 and you have stage 4 endometriosis.
Interesting. So you've had like 9 surgeries before you were diagnosed of endometriosis.
The 9th surgery diagnosed.
Weren't you traumatized? Should I use the word traumatized? That after so many surgeries, the pain that even comes with it. I'll come to that. But were you traumatized at a point that you keep going, doing so many surgeries, and did you have any hope that you were going to stop bleeding?
I was hopeful. Like a lot of hope. If I didn't have hope, I would have died.
You hope you would have died?
No, if I didn't have hope, I would have died.
Okay.
I would have died because I was traumatized at a point. And yes, I felt like dying at a point. I tried suicide a number of times, about 3 times, yes.
Before you were diagnosed of endometriosis?
Yes, before I was diagnosed. Because what is it that's wrong with you? You don't know what's wrong with you. Like you keep going. They say, let's do this. Then you are buying all the medications. It's not as if when we say we are not buying. You are doing everything by the book. You are taking your medications religiously. Like you are doing everything to get better, but you are rather getting worse.
At a point, did you feel like they were using you as an experiment?
Yeah, that's the
experiment.
Yeah. It gets to that point sometimes. Then you get the diagnosis. So finally, it resonates. Then this doctor says, okay, you have been diagnosed with endometriosis. I need you to go and read about it. So I start reading and everything started making sense to me. From when I was growing up, when I was a teenager, it aligns with everything I have been through. And you realize that, okay, now there's a name to the condition. Now you know that doctors are not second guessing. We are not just doing anything. Now there's a name to the condition, so you are good to go.
So at what point did the doctors, started discussing about removing your womb?
When
was it after the 10th?
No, it was after a number of, because aside that, when you're diagnosed, endometriosis is such that it grows.
Okay.
The adhesions. So I mentioned that you are supposed to shed it out at the end of every month. But where endometriosis is, the blood cannot come out, so it forms into some tissues.
Okay.
So they are called adhesions. They are clumped somewhere. So now doctors have to go in and try and take out as much as they can.
Okay.
You understand?
Right.
Then they do that and they say, okay, I think now let's do an ablation to stop the bleeding.
What's an ablation?
It's an endometrial ablation. So they go inside your womb to try and burn out some of the endometrial lining.
So if I understand perfectly well, just like how we women we bleed and then we have the blood clotting,
yes,
it doesn't come out.
It doesn't come out. Stay in your womb. Yes.
Womb.
No, it won't stay in your womb. It's not in your womb.
Okay.
It's somewhere else outside your womb.
Right.
So if it's in your womb, it will come out as normal menses. But this one is on your ovary.
Okay.
On your bladder, it's somewhere else, it's in your pelvic area. So now they have to go in and identify where exactly these things are. And there are times that where the adhesion is delicate, so they can't go in.
So what do they do to
So you have to leave it. Then there are some injections that you are given, maybe Zoladex, Lupron. They push your body into medical menopause. If you are lucky enough, it shrinks it. It's able to shrink some of the adhesions to a very considerable level. But what it does is you are menopausal. You are not menstruating. You are getting all the symptoms of a menopausal woman. And your body stops producing estrogen. Endometriosis, the food for endometriosis is estrogen. So the moment, they believe that the moment you stop producing estrogen, the endometriosis adhesions stop growing. But research has proven that endometriosis adhesions actually can create their own estrogen in your body.
To survive? To
survive, yes.
Interesting. We came to the moment where I said at what point did they discuss
the
to take
removal.
out the womb? And how did you take the whole thing?
It was tough. It wasn't a pleasant thing to hear. But then again, I chose life.
Right.
I chose life over fertility. And I'm grateful I did that. Because it improved my quality of life. But you can't add. Then I have one less problem to solve. Now I don't have to think about how to deal with bleeding and pain. You get it. But it's not something pleasant, especially for us women. It is some sort of pride. Like it's our pride. It's a symbol of womanhood that, yes, you have a womb, you are going to carry pregnancies and all that.
How did your parents or your family take that news, especially? How did they take it? Do you have a partner then?
Yeah, I did. So the thing is, I am here speaking because you've not experienced the pain I go through or how I was living then and the bleeding. So if you're around me and they say that, let's take this thing out, it will get better. Everybody, even though it's not pleasant, you are better off losing that organ than dying. It's just an organ, regardless. It's just an organ. And because of my age and everything, the doctors actually just did a subtotal abdominal hysterectomy. They only took out the uterus, left the ovaries and the cervix.
Okay.
But then there's another complication. Then even after, I can continue, right?
Yeah, you can.
Even after the removal of the uterus,
Right.
I still bleeding.
Till date.
No, I was still bleeding. So then we have to go out, we had to go in again, take out the cervix. So you see, the whole process, somebody will say, okay, so you took out the uterus, why then did you have to do another surgery? So it's a whole lot of thing. So I keep saying that endometriosis is not a gynecological condition. It's a whole body condition. You understand? So yes.
I was coming to how your family, took
care.
the whole shit, your partner, but then...
Oh, then everybody was okay because the world is not as it used to be some years back. without a uterus, you can have a child of your own with your own DNA and your genes and all that. So the issue of surrogacy and everything came up. So I still had my ovary, so it wasn't really a big deal then. So that was okay. All we're looking forward to was getting better. But for me as the patient, even though I was looking at getting better, it was still a very painful decision to take. It wasn't easy. But my parents were there. I had other people, I had friends, I had very solid support system to actually hold me down. Yeah.
Right. Were there points where you needed a particular support that you didn't get?
No.
There was never a time like that.
I actually had support I kept rejecting. So yes, I always had support. Always did.
Right. So who has been your greatest, source of strength during this period or those times?
I don't have who. I have not who as in a person. I have way too many people. I'm a Catholic. My priests, my as in our reverend fathers, I had a number of them calling and praying with me, coming to see me. My parents, my father's friends, people from church, my siblings. Like, I had support from almost everybody. I have a lot of love around me. I always say that. Yes.
Where there's love, there's light.
Yes.
And I like the fact that you've been able to conquer everything.
Yes.
Yeah. Right. So was there any dream that you had in your mind, like growing up, that you had to give up just because of this? Because as you said earlier, I think you said you went to a pageantry. And how was the whole process like? Did it ever prevent you from doing something you wanted to do?
So this whole condition thing has really prevented me from doing a lot of things. But I don't regret it because it has rerouted my dreams. You understand? Growing up, we all had things we wanted to do. I'm very vocal. I want to read law and call to the bar, do pro bono cases for...
You wanted to do law?
Yes, do pro bono. That's what I wanted to do. But now, I'd want to do something with regards to public health, women's health, and now do a whole lot of things regarding that. And I think that is my call. That is the charge I have now.
And I think you're doing very great at it. Because somebody will even think you are a health expert.
Yes. So that is what I want to do. And I think it is something, it is fulfilling. Yes.
This must be very, emotional, exhausting. Right. We spoke about who kept you. Was there any inspiration that you had that kept you going? Because this happening, we all take things differently. Somebody would have a total mental breakdown and they won't be able to, heal from the shock, from the surgeries and all of that. Was there something that could be a series so that, kept you going? And if you had your own way, would you wish to have your child one day?
So, yeah. The giving up bit, it comes up, but I think somewhere last year or 2 years ago, a very good brother of mine, he's had he's had 2 cardiac arrests. And he told me something very profound. And he said, the day you decide to give up, you will die.
So that shook you?
Yes. He told me, he said, the day you decide to give up, you will die. And I thought about it because that day I was at pain clinic, I was getting my infusions. That is usually a very sober time for me to reflect on life. Because then I'm a loner at that time. So I get time to reflect a lot and it hits me. So that has been one very profound thing. But I was referred to psychologists and psychiatrists who also helped me along the way. So, yeah.
All right. So, my producer just whispered to me to, let's talk about your sexual life. How was it like?
I'll go back to symptoms of endometriosis.
Right.
It includes painful sexual activities and even orgasm pain. Orgasm pain actually can also cause a flare-up. So it's a win-win. I say it's a win-win. It depends on the individual and your partner. But for somebody like me, you just go and do it and not decide to enjoy it. Or when you want to enjoy it, you enjoy it and cry later. You understand? Because the pain will eventually come, whether in the process or after the aftermath. So you choose what will kill you. So you choose what to kill you. Do you want to enjoy it and cry later? Or you just don't want to do it at all? But in as much as we feel the pain and all that, I always tell people, when I'm counseling people, I tell them that, see, it is you, the individual. Do you want to? Because your partner will say, no, I think you'll be in pain, but do you want to do it?
But how bad is it that will make you say, oh no, today I'm in the mood?
Oh, it is bad.
That is that bad.
No, so for somebody like me, speaking to you, I am in pain. You understand? On a regular day, I'm in pain. I'm always in pain. So if I'm going to aggravate the pain to another level, so the pain I'm feeling right now, you would say, okay, you call your boss and say, I need to go to the hospital.
Right. So you're going to be coming to work today.
Yes. So you are going to top up that pain. So endometriosis pain is like labor pain, like even worse than labor pain. Those who've had both will tell you that it is worse than labor pain. So that's the kind of pain you're going to feel after. So it depends on you. Do you want to enjoy and cry later? No. But sometimes you want to do it because you have to do it. It's natural. You want to do it.
Right. So in our earlier submission, we talk about, endometriosis, coping, other conditions as well. But at what point do you know the distinctions? I'm sure by now people have started, diagnosing themselves, because we Gen Zs, let me put this way. We have a way of diagnosing ourselves. Because your friend says that she's experiencing this. I think so. I have to go to the hospital. You start, diagnosing yourself. But where or how do you know the distinctions?
So I always say that the moment you have even those symptoms, it's not normal. It's not even if it's not endometriosis, it's something else. If your menses is prolonged, it's a problem. That's even one. If you bleed and it's clots and it's more than a 50% coin, it is a problem. You have painful sex, is a problem. Painful urination is a problem. Then if you are in pain, chronic pelvic pain is a problem. So if it's not endometriosis, it is something else. So your best bet is not diagnosing yourself. See a gynecologist, get diagnosed. If it's not endometriosis, it will be something else. But the problem with endometriosis is it's difficult to diagnose. So if you feel that you have endometriosis, there are things your doctor will tell you, or there are tests that you can do. You probably do an MRI, go and do an MRI, or if you have an elevated CA125, they are cancer markers. There's a possibility that you have endometriosis. So if you go, the doctors know what to do. If you go to a very good gynecologist, he will know the test, to run for you and to diagnose you.
Right. Many people also, have surgeries and they feel like that is the end of it. They are okay, they are good to go. But then endometriosis has been, called that has no cure.
Chronic. Yeah.
It's very chronic. So what is life like for you today? Are there more surgeries that you have to do to be fully okay? And are you still bleeding as we speak? Or
no, it depends. It just comes and we are not so sure why it is coming.
Okay.
So I have, and that is the removal of the ovaries.
Okay.
Because I still produce estrogen, and we believe that is the number one cause of the pain right now.
Okay.
But I am in the process of doing an egg retrieval. So I'm going to retrieve my eggs freeze it, and use it later.
Right.
Yes, so I'm going to opt for surrogacy. That answers your question earlier of me wanting to have a child. So surrogacy would help me get a child.
Now, talking about all the surgeries that you've had, how many surgeries have you had again? 21 surgeries. How were you able to finance all these surgeries? Because I know even just one surgery is not a child's play at all. How were you able to finance?
My parents. My parents. Oh. I can't stop saying it. My parents, God. Because there was a will, there was a way. Because they were willing to do it, God made a way for it to happen. My friends, my parents, if they are not doing medications, my friends are calling for your prescriptions to go and buy medications for you. Asking, yes. So my parents, my friends, people around me, basically. And it's not bad.
God bless your parents wherever they are. But what message would you like to give to all women out there as we bring our show to the end? What message would you like to tell people? We want to hear from you.
It's not easy being a woman. And for women, we take a lot of things for granted, especially our health. So I feel that if at any point in time you feel there's something wrong with your body, listen. Our bodies actually speak to us and we tend to ignore them a lot. So I would want us to take our health serious. Aside our health, our mental health too. When you're tired, rest. Pay for convenience.
Tell them there's no reward for suffering.
No, there's no reward for suffering. Pay for when you're tired, rest. When you feel that there's some sort of bleeding, there's some sort of pain, please seek medical attention. In as much as the herbal stuff are also good, please try and see their doctors. Get very good diagnosis, correct and right diagnosis. Eat well, sleep well, rest.
Mr. Latta, what message would you like people to take from your personal story on endometriosis?
God is good and he can be trusted. Yeah, I know people are pitying me and all those, but I tell people that it could have been worse. People just go in for cataract surgeries and they don't come or they don't make it. So this is just a purpose. This is my purpose. Maybe you might pity or feel my life is pitiful, but I feel it is rewarding because it is impacting others. It is informing, it is creating awareness for people. So I want you to find purpose in whatever thing you are going through or whatever you are doing. And if it's rewarding, it's rewarding. If it fulfills you, it fulfills you. So I just want us to take every day a step at a time. No rush. You're not in competition with anyone.
Thank you very much. And also, is there any foundation? Because I see a t-shirt.
Yeah. So my foundation is the Pogmenka Foundation. It's something we are looking to launch later in August. Okay. So we're going to do some awareness creation on women's health and child health, actually. So we are going to do basically advocacy for women's and children's health. Try and get some medications pull some string and see to write officially to Parliament, National Health Insurance, to put some medications under the insurance scheme, just as some cancer medications are there, so that we can at least help women who cannot afford some of the medications.
So you're open to collaborations?
Yes, we are open to collaborations, sponsors, and all that.
Thank you very much,
You're
Mr.
welcome.
Latta.
You're welcome.
For educating us on this particular, issue, endometriosis and adenomyosis, a very, very, chronic women's health, reproductive disease. Honestly, I don't even feel like a lot of people know about the endometriosis.
No.
Even to pronounce the word
it's a problem.
It's a problem, honestly. So we are most grateful that you came here today to, to educate us and also to create awareness. Thank you so much for coming. And then we hope that God will still strengthen you as He's been doing or as He's been with you all through this time. Thank you so much. And if you have some birthday celebrants, we can have them so we celebrate them together.
I heard today was your birthday.
This is coming from Clock TV to Godfred Kudo. It says a happy birthday to you, Godfred, from all of us here at Clock TV. Your dedication to getting things done is one which cannot be explained. May the Lord continuously bless you with grace and strength to keep you going, and may your silent prayers all be answered. There's always love and fun working with you. Happy birthday going out to you, Godfred. Actually, he's the one who edited this particular, birthday segment. Happy birthday to you, Godfred. We love you here, yeah. We love you so much. And this is from Marcelo to Oga's wife. He's saying, Oga's wife, happy birthday to an amazing woman with a beautiful heart. Today, I celebrate not just your birthday, but the wonderful person you are. Your kindness, strength, laughter, and beautiful heart have touched so many lives, including mine. I'm truly grateful for every memory we've shared and every moment we've spent together, coming from Marcelo to Oga's wife. And this is from Abena Boaben to Linda Arthur. She says that happy birthday to the person who's been a big sister when I needed one most. Thanks for the advice, the tough love, and always having my back. I'm so lucky to have you. Love you, love you, love you. This is coming from Abena Boaben to Linda Arthur. Happy birthday going to you, Linda Arthur. And this has been the lifestyle segment on the Koko This Morning Show. My name is Honorable Bevan A.J. Thanks for staying with us.